How do you think about the role of technological advances, especially generative AI, on more traditional industries? Thank you.
I don't know anything about AI, but I do have. That doesn't mean I deny its existence or importance or anything of the sort. And last year I said, that we let a genie out of the bottle when we developed nuclear weapons, and that genie has been doing some terrible things lately. And the power of that genie scares the hell out of me. And on the other hand, I don't know any way to get the genie back in the bottle. And AI is somewhat similar. It's part way out of the bottle, and it's enormously important, and it's going to be done by somebody. So we may wish we'd never seen that genie, or it may do wonderful things. And I'm certainly not the person that can evaluate that. And I probably wouldn't have been the person that could have evaluated it during World War II, whether we tested a 20,000-ton bomb that we felt was absolutely necessary for the United States and would actually save lives in the long run, but where we also had Edmund Teller, I think it was on a parallel with Einstein in terms of saying you may, with this test, ignite the atmosphere in such a way that civilization doesn't continue. And we decided to let the genie out of the bottle, and it accomplished the immediate objective, but whether it's going to change the future of society, we will find out later. Now, AI, I had one experience that does make me a little nervous, and I'll just explain it. That very recently, fairly recently, I saw an image in front of my eyes on the screen, and it was me, and it was my voice, and wearing the kind of clothes I wear, and my wife or my daughter wouldn't have been able to detect any difference, and it was delivering a message that no way came from me. So when you think of the potential for scamming people, if you can reproduce images that I can't even tell, that say, I need money, it's your daughter, I've just had a car crash, I need $50,000 wired. I mean, scamming has always been part of the American scene, but this would make me, if I was interested in investing in scamming, it's going to be the growth industry of all time, and it's enabled in a way. Now, maybe, obviously AI has potential for good things too, but I don't know how you, based on the one I saw recently, I practically would send money to myself over in some crazy country. I don't have any advice on how the world handles it, because I don't think we know how to handle what we did with the nuclear genie. But I do think, as someone who doesn't understand a damn thing about it, that it has enormous potential for good and enormous potential for harm, and I just don't know how that plays out.
Hi, Mr. Buffett. This is Matthew Lai from China, Hong Kong. I'm running my Nasdaq listing company called FDUP, and we are so grateful that you learn from you, and you really inspire us. My question is, besides the electrical car company, BYD, under what circumstances you will reinvest and reconsider to invest Hong Kong and China company? Thank you.
Yeah. Well, our primary investments will always be in the United States. We do think it. Now, the companies we invest in the United States, American Express does business around the world, and no company hardly does business around the world like Coca-Cola. I mean, they are the preferred soft drink, in something maybe like 170 or 180 out of 200 countries. Those are rough approximations from a few years back, probably, but that degree of acceptance worldwide is, I think it's almost unmatched. I can't really think of any company that has it. American Express has a position in the credit card field, which I think is extremely strong. And part of that was part of the reasons for that is one of the directors that I introduced a few minutes ago, Ken Chenault. But it has strengthened dramatically over the last 20 years for a lot of reasons. So we will, the BYD investment was we made the commitment in Japan, which I did 5 years ago, and that was just overwhelmingly, it was compelling. It was extraordinarily compelling, and we bought it as fast as we could, and we spent a year, and we got a few percent of our assets in 5 very big companies, but that's the problem of being our size. But you won't find us making a lot of investments outside the United States, although we're participating through these other companies in the world economy. But I understand the United States rules, weaknesses, strengths, whatever it may be. I don't have the same feeling for economies generally around the world. I don't pick up on other cultures extremely well, and the lucky thing is I don't have to, because I don't live in some tiny little country that has just doesn't have a big economy. But I'm in an economy already that has, after starting out with 0.5% of the world's population, has ended up with well over 20% of the world's output in an amazingly short period of time. So we will be American oriented. If we do something really big, it's extremely likely to be in the United States. Charlie, in all those years, there's only 2 times he's told me that, this one is really, he would always go along with me and say, well, when I was suggesting something, he'd say, well, this is really not that great, but it's probably the best you'll come up with, so I'll go along with the idea. But Charlie twice has pounded the table with me and just said, buy. And BYD was one of them, and Costco was the other. And we bought a certain amount of Costco, and we bought quite a bit of BYD. But looking back, he already was aggressive, but I should have been more aggressive in Costco. It wasn't fatal that we weren't, but he was right big time in both companies. And I'm aware of what goes on in most markets, but I think it's unlikely that we make any large commitments in almost any country you can name, although we don't rule it out entirely. And I feel extremely good about our Japanese position, and we'll have that. I don't know how many years. Greg will be sitting with that at some point, and we couldn't be happier with that. But we really have a different outlook in looking well, we look at your money, which we couldn't bear to lose, and we feel that we're very less likely to make any truly major mistakes in the United States than in many other countries.